Okay, I did do this, and sorry. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Good morning. This is Jonas Brasco. Stream will start in a little bit. Just as always, checking the audio and making sure we're good to go. Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. Today we have a fun match between Fulham FC and Liverpool. Not Liverpool, actually, Leeds United. I apologize. And this one will be at Ellen. This one is at Elland Road. Last time this was the case, Fulham was able to win 1-0 at the Cottage for their first win of the season. However, Fulham was not the one who scored, which would have been nice, but that's not what happened. Um, that would be Gabriel Gudmundsson, who scored the own goal in extra time. In the meantime, a lot of people are focusing on Calvin Lewin and his former boss, Marco Silva, for their time in Everton, which, in all honesty, not important for this. Really, really not important for this. We are connected to live chat, so I want to say thank you. Stepping in. And I'm not gonna lie, this is even though both teams have shown they can score goals, after that last matchup, hopefully it will not nearly be as ugly. Because believe me, that match at the beginning of the season was very, very ugly. Like you may want to question your life choices ugly. But Fulham has been in great form with a 6 game unbeaten run. In fact, one thing that is the same with both of these teams is their last loss was against Newcastle. It's just that Fulham's happened in December, while Leeds United happened on the 7th in a 7-goal thriller with Leeds losing in extra time. Mhm. Mhm. All right, and as always, thanks for stopping in, and we hope you enjoy the stream. We'll have other Premier League fixtures at the bottom, and I will have to do something about that Leeds United when that thing comes up. So we will make a quick adjustment there. But as mhm. And of course, what's nice is you should be able to go directly to the link for all those who have access through Fulham in the South, which is the supporter group I am a member of. And as always, this lovely part that I should not have to say, but we're still going to put it on there. No spoilers, be respectful, no hate speech, harassment, no links or self promotion, and keep foul language to a minimum. We are trying to keep the stream for the most part PG-13, but no guarantees, as always. Right now, there's sign of respect to a fallen Leeds competitor. Unfortunately, I did not quite hear, and I don't have my headphones on yet. And of course, even the subtitles did not want to work with me today. But we are about to kick this one off. And we have now kicked off. Message has been pinned to the top. And we have kicked off here. And of course, their focus, well, I'm not going to lie, a lot of commentators, Chris Kavanaugh is the ref for this one. And one thing I do like is Fulham is their black and gold away kits. Are in their traditional white. And if there are any Leeds supporters who are in the chat, we welcome you. There is a early foul by Joaquin Anderson on onto Calvin Lewis. Joaquin Anderson is the one sporting the armband for Fulham, while of course, actually, I don't know who's wearing the armband for Leeds right now. I'm going to check that real quick. Normally, I do not mention captains because it's whoever scores is going to be it. Leeds tried but it goes out for offside. Well, it didn't matter. The call was offsides. And the last time we should mention this, these two have faced off at Elland Road. Fulham did win in September of 2025, 1-0. Oh, sorry, that was this season. In 2022, Fulham beat Leeds at Elland Road 3-2. Goal scorers in that game was Alexander Mitrovic, Bobby Reed, and Willian. While for Leeds, it was Rodrigo and Somerville in stoppage time. And just, of course, the match that happened earlier today, Manchester United going over City 2-0. That in itself was quite a surprise. And right now, that's the only game that had a score. Anderson's able to keep the ball. Leeds has definitely been the more aggressive team within these first 5 minutes. But there's a break by Smith Rowe. Trying to find Sessegnon. Gudmundsson does a great job of tracking this one. And is able to get the ball away. But it was a good ball from Smith Rowe. And of course, since no one can see this, I'll be playing the role of Marco Silva with all this fun stuff. And I will take my watch off for this because, as always, no spoilers. And unfortunately, I do have FOTMob on my watch. And plus, I've learned that because I have, oh man. Also, at 3, right after halftime, we will also be keeping track of the Nigeria-Egypt third place game and at AFCON. Unfortunately, the Nigerian boys had a tough loss in penalties, which Chukwueze missed a very key one and got a lot of blame for it. However, with all due respect to the Nigerian coach, why are you going to put a cold player to take penalties in the 120th minute of stoppage time? I mean, not in stoppage time, in extra time. If you were planning that, he needed to be in the game earlier, much earlier. Not we're going to put him in just for him to play kick penalties, and he didn't even get a chance to really get onto the ball whatsoever. I'm sorry, I just had to get that out of the way because that was frustrating. Well, tomorrow we will see the actual, which will be the final with Senegal and Morocco, which I was actually really hoping for. Smith Rowe keeps the ball. He was trying to get to Jimenez, but Jimenez would have been offsides. In the meantime, Ampadu leading the break. Shot straight at Leno. Now Anthony Robinson trying to start the counterattack. Gets it over to Harry Wilson. And we're going to slow it down just a little bit. There's a come on Fulham chant finally happening in the crowd. This crowd has been really Leeds based so far, as expected. And one thing that is noted, we haven't really talked about the bench, but what is a key thing is the return of Josh King. As he's been out and Fulham quickly owns a corner through Anthony Robinson. Usually it's usually it's either Harry Wilson or Sanchez Lukic that takes these corner. And of course it's gonna be Harry Wilson. As in the Chelsea game, you may want to watch for Raul Jimenez. Wilson with the false start. Corner. Jimenez again. He tried the header. It didn't have the direction. It just goes. Yeah, near side. He's not. He gets the. Unfortunately, he's getting his left side of the head on it, and it just goes straight to the left side. I mean, 3 goals and assists. As much as people have been paying attention to Harry Wilson, Jimenez has not been a slouch whatsoever. Sessignon, Anthony Robinson, really kind of back end. Mooney still not expected to be back until next month. But besides that, Kenny Tete plans on being back at the end of the month, of course, as well as the 3 competitors currently at AFCON, Chuck, Samuel Chukwueze, Alex Iwobi, and Calvin Bassey, which, regardless of what some people were asking, was not going to be back today, even though he is not eligible to play in the third place game due to yellow card accumulation. Jimenez tries to find Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson still maintaining possession, able to find it to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe. There's not enough people shot by Harry Wilson, and it drags left side. In regards to the other games happening at this time, there's no score in any of them. Chelsea and Brentford. Liverpool, Burnley, Sunderland, Crystal Palace, Tottenham, West Ham. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are West Ham fans who are watching that one, as West Ham is trying their best to get out of the relegation places. And depending on the Burnley game, Burnley may actually be able to go up to 18th, and West Ham may be closer to sealing their fate. No, Robinson was not going to get to that. They mentioned a little bit of the, even though they lost to Newcastle, Leeds was able to get the job done 3-1 against Derby in the Cup, while Fulham was able to take care of business against Middlesbrough. Leeds Leeds' next opponent on the 14th will be Birmingham City, while Fulham will get Stoke. Both will be away games. It feels weird saying that the Birmingham City game will be at St Andrews. I have not heard since that name that often since both Fulham and Birmingham City were in the championship. And the same with the Stadium of Light was for Stoke. Smith Rowe does great slide, all ball. Sasha Lukic, good job possession, and we'll throw it in. The one thing that should be mentioned about Leeds defensive front back is they don't have a lot of fouls and they don't get a lot of cards. So for those expecting to be Leeds to be seeing red like Chelsea, probably not. Jimenez tried to free up Harry Wilson, but Leeds, great job. And there is a foul on Jimenez. And yeah, he was trying to play it to Wilson. Wilson was onside. He just didn't get it back quick enough. And I just was trying to check my audio since there has not been much activity. But feel free in the chat if you have any questions or anything about this one. Right now, it's a bunch of back and forth, but no one really keeping possession. This game is still early, and it seems really like both teams are just trying to settle in. Justin tried to get past Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe's nice tackle to get the ball out of bounds. It's going to be a throw in for Leeds. And West Ham gets an early goal against Tottenham. And it's going to be Somerville who gets it. This just happened. Chris Somerville gets one for West Ham. Definitely didn't see that coming. Nice long throw by Leeds, but Fulham does deal with it and gets as far. Oh, so Calvin Lewis tried to free it up, and someone decided to. I'm looking. I haven't seen there was an error on my part. Anderson, he just tried to. Yeah, Okafor just sailed that one. And I apologize. It seems I made a brief error. So in the Leeds lineup, so we will make an adjustment on that. And I apologize. Gudmundsson is number 3, not number 2. There we go. For any Leeds fans out there, I do apologize for that. Still, no one really taking control of this game so far. It really has possession for both teams has been pretty even. You would expect Fulham to have more possession, but it really is a 52-48 52-48 on Leeds. Both of them 2 shots. Jimenez nicely done by Okafor was ready in the box, but the cutout was really important. And Jimenez, there is a foul, and but Aronson does take out Raul. It is a free kick, definitely no foul or anything, and he does get some of the ball. And right now they're throwing some shade at Cuenca for not really getting onto that. And I'm not gonna lie, the commentators are really kind of struggling to kind of find something to say. I mean, but hey, I even said at the very beginning, this game is probably going to be ugly enough to kind of regret some of your life choices. But still, I'm Jonas Brasco. We're bringing it to you because, of course, this is Up the Fulham. It's a little harsh on the side. Oh, nope, we're keeping that. That's better. And like again, it's really just been some back and forth ticky tacky type stuff. It's gonna be a throw in for Leeds. Anthony Robinson, we're expecting him to stay. Oh, very missed Robinson, and Leeds is gonna get their first corner as Anderson's able to get the ball off of Cuenca. And one thing about Fulham and during this that's going to be interesting, especially when the AFCON boys come back, is who's going to get to it. Leno grabs it off the corner, trying to find someone. Gruev, wow, Robinson just I don't know what happened there, but in that case, Gruev got on the ball. I mean, it really was. Leno has it, throws it, tries to get to Robinson. Robinson struggling with his pace. Gruev gets onto it, and Calvin Lewis is not able to, you know, read it off, and it's going to be a free kick because Anderson got a nicely done getting the ball and getting it out. Leno, Smith Rowe, Anthony Robinson, but Leeds again, they are defensively they are able to get the ball pretty quickly. Just a lot of we're having Aussie football right now. Lots of jumps, lots of headers, but really, no one really again stating or anything of their dominance. The crowd showing their disappointment, but there's not much to be disappointed in. Fulham again working with that free kick. And now, of course, they're talking about the coach Dana Farkin for Leeds. Again, it's just like all they can do right now is really talk about the history. Okafor trying to find someone in. Leno is able to get to it. Anthony Robinson trying to keep it inside. And is able to pay it off Bogle. And just like that, it's going to be another goal kick. I don't. Leeds, okay, has really started to step up the pressure in the last few minutes. It really is Leno. I'm wondering if he's not. If he needs a minute, he hasn't quite been. He quite hasn't been on par. I'm wondering if maybe sitting out that FA Cup game has slowed him down a little bit. In the meantime, I want to thank people who have been stopping in, checking this one out. If you're a Leeds fan, thanks. I'm This is Jonas Brasco, Up the Fulham. We keep it clean here. We keep it clean. We keep it classy. Unlike this game is going to be no. It is not a no. There was no handball by Anderson there. And literally first, I will say this for the first 25 minutes. I know it's not quite the 25th minute, but Anderson has definitely been the workhorse so far. Still to break. Anderson may get a shot at it, and he sails it over the bar. And he knows he should have scored there. No, I mean Castagna was beat. Castagna was beat. It's just that back line has not. That back line has not been that supportive for Fulham right now. Outside some outside some crowd chants. Not much happening in this one. And of course, we know that Leeds can score, and especially with those last results: 3 against Derby, 4 against Newcastle. No, was it 3 against Newcastle or 4? I may have to recheck that. And of course, that West Ham Tottenham game still the only goal outside of so far during this window. Nice long throw. Dealt with Robinson trying to get to the ball. And it goes out on Anthony Robinson. And it will be another throw in for Leeds. Amadou, long throw. Not caught, not quite Rory Delap. Anderson. Okay, they're gonna call that say Raul, but I thought it was Anderson. Joaquin Anderson has the only own goal for Fulham this year. And hopefully that will remain the case. Great Anthony Robinson trying to fight everything off. So and look at and Anderson, great job. Like I said, he's definitely been Leeds' workhorse these first 25. Now we're in the 20s. We're about to hit the 27th minute. And I need to take a breath for that, so I apologize. There is a late tackle. No foul. Anthony Robinson working that left side. And Castagna picks up a yellow. Let's see, because like I said, it was definitely a late tackle. I'm not really sure about how extent that contact was, but that is indeed a yellow card. It was late. And Pedro scored for Chelsea. And it is now 1-0 Chelsea over Brentford. Of course, being a Fulham fan, can't really cheer for either team. So hopefully Brentford's able to get that. And there is a foul by Sacha Lukic. And he's going to get a card. And both of these cards happened in less than 60 seconds. Lukic, it looks like he is trying to go for the ball, but he doesn't catch anything. He doesn't catch anything except a foot. But again, like I wish I wasn't saying, but I've said this is going to be a sloppy game, and this is exactly what it is. I'm hoping for it to be scrappy, but not giving up simple cards like that. And it's going to be a free kick, and Silva does not need to be on the wrong end, as he had a Gruet, Sanderberger with the header, still back into the Leeds net, and Leno has to make a save. Leno has to make the save, but the save will not count because it was offsides on Leeds. This has really, really been a poor defensive effort by Fulham. And I am really, yeah, Leeds had two people offsides. Pascal did have a good opportunity with that header, and just Fulham trying to boot just into the Leeds half. It's gonna go out, no, but just to try to have something. Darlow really has not had to do anything today. And of course, your Leeds, you have nothing to lose. 3 points is 3 points. They have to be aware as Jimenez was trying to close in, but you can tell Silva is not amused. I don't blame him. This is just nope. And Silva got himself a yellow. Last thing you want is a touchline ban, especially when you have Brighton and Manchester United next. Crystal Palace has opened up the scoring against Sunderland with Pino getting that one, and Fulham's going to be called for a foul. Again, don't do not expect something anything fancy from this one. And to be honest, Fulham should be considered very lucky if they're able to go into the half with no score. Because everything for them outside the back of the net has been all leads. They've been able to keep possession, they've been able to move forward. And I think for now, Leno just needs to slow things down. And again, great pressure by Leeds, not really letting forward get Fulham get that ball out of their half. But finally, Gruev gets it to was getting back to Jimenez. Jimenez is able to get a throw in for Marcus Silva. For Fulham. You're showing Marcus Silva, and again, most of this I will be interpreting Marcus Silva since you were not watching the game and you were watching me. So thank you. Tries to find Anthony Robinson in the corner, and just like that, Leeds is able to get it back. And any pressure or momentum Fulham had is instantly killed. Wilson trying to find some throw. Here, Wilson. Back to Robinson. There is some people in the box. Wilson's had to kick it. Was trying to kick it back out to Robinson, but the flag went up and Harry Wilson was offsides. Yeah, there's no debate on that one. The commentators were like, we don't see that too often, and the other one's like, yes, we do. And again, Leeds possession in their own in the Fulham half. And another offside. I almost don't want to put the stats up, but I will still at halftime. It just is again, it's an ugly game. You're actually better off listening to me. But Sunderland gets one back. And that's Lafee. Near near instant. Sessignon trying to close in, but still, it's just yeah. I don't even think there's been any actual shot on goal that has had to challenge Darlow at all. Sanderberger tries to maintain possession, gives it back to Robinson. Robinson has to go back to Leno, and once again, great pressure by Leeds. With the exception of this game, the only other game that has no score is Liverpool and Burnley, as they are in the 36 minutes. And of course, they're mentioning just Fulham not being able to really get pressure. However, they are actually the having the most possession. Though the shots have not been there. Harry Wilson frees it out to Lukic. Lukic with a header, but it's straight at Darlow. And of course, now they're making it is offsides. I mean, onside. And just like that, there is a Leeds player down. And it is Aronson. I was going to say it was a rough challenge from Anthony Robinson. Okay, it's late. In fact, I'm not gonna lie. As a Fulham player, just a neutral, I would have probably given that a card because yes, Robinson is going for the ball, but he does catch his foot. And a lot, Fulham again has to be a little bit more aggressive. But they have been aggressive with 6 fouls. Leeds has only committed 2 fouls. Again, Leeds is a very disciplined team. Do not expect a lot of yellows and definitely don't expect any reds from the Leeds side this time. But in the 37th minute, there is no score in this one. This is becoming a lot of some of the older Fulham games before AFCON where you're wondering who is going to make that break, who is going to find the net. Literally, both teams leads with one more attempt, but only one shot on target from each side. Emil Smith Rowe trying to put in work, but Leeds is able to get it back. Of course, Robinson, Anderson with Robinson and Sanderberger on point, but Sanderberger is able to get the ball, and just like Fulham, finally able to get something going. Castagna taken off by Jimenez, Lukic still on their side of the pitch. Fulham still just struggling to get it in the Leeds half, but Jimenez lets it goes out because he probably would have been flagged up. Sorry, the flag would have probably gone up on this one. And and unless there's an injury, we'll expect we will explore the benches more in the second half. Because unless there's an injury, I'm not seeing substitutions from either team. But just to mention the benches for each team: Perry, Brian, Sebastian, Tanaka, someone who may be Nemecha, Noto, Viere, Longstaff, and Founsendal. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. I apologize for any pronunciation errors because I'm not going to lie. I have not watched a Leeds game since they lost to Newcastle and lost to us. They still put the flag up. I And just to give people an idea, Leeds with 3 offsides, Fulham with 3 offsides. There's another offsides. This is mm, and an unnecessary as Leeds get their first card. Ampadu. He does get the ball, but then the card for Ampadu was not so much for any type of foul as much as just throwing the ball away from the ref, and that's going to be a rare throw in for Fulham. And of course, you can hear the crowd and everything in the crowd, including all the cuss words, because that's just how this game has been. We are slowly creeping to the 42nd minute. There really should not be any stoppage time. Like, I wouldn't even give a minute of stoppage time in this one. Yeah, Leeds easily just maintain the possession game. Actually, no. Possession has primarily been Fulham, but Fulham has possession because they've been forced to play defensively. But again, Leeds now are now in the 43rd minute. No score in this one. Leeds tried the quick throw. And there was a little bit of irony in on the on the advertising board for Leeds. Don't score don't score an old goal, stay off the pitch. If own goals are going to happen, it's going to be for the players on the pitch. So that's a nice little reminder. Aronson, well, Anthony Robinson marked Bogle very well on that one. Harry Wilson gets the ball into the Leeds half, finds Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe looking to Wilson trying to get to the ball, and he think he's able to get a corner. He is able to get a corner for Fulham. And just like that, Fulham actually has the ball in the Leeds half and may be able to make something happen out of this. And the crowd knows it too. At least the Fulham supporters do, as they've started a come on Fulham chant, but it does not happen. In the meantime, James Justin is down on the pitch and is stretching, giving the Leeds players an opportunity to get back to their side. Get a breath. Wilson is going to take the corner. You know Jimenez is going to be looking for this one. But also Sacha Lukic is there as well. Lukic. Sessegnon is easily blocked out by Anderson. Like I said, he has been the workhorse. Harry Wilson is able to keep it onside. Back to Lukic. Lukic to Sessegnon. Sessegnon. Oh, just a bad bounce. Sales, but he's saying that it went off a Leeds defender and it should have been a corner. And the thing is, he had to wait for it to drop. Yeah. Even the commentators are saying it may have went off a Groovy, and it probably could have been a corner for Fulham. But I think most people would have loved to have seen it. They are going to give it a minute. I'm surprised. It is Fulhamish time, and Leeds is going to get a corner as it went off of Sessegnon. Again, I thought 1 minute was maybe a little too gracious on that one, but nothing else you can really say. For the 25 people who've come in and out of the stream, I appreciate it. I don't blame you. There's not much to see, but if you're actually watching this game, there's not much to see there either. However, it is now basically lead score or we got halftime. And Rudon tried to get it in. Leeds one more opportunity. Jimenez trying to get it out. The whistle has blown. We are at halftime. Yes, definitely Brendan Anderson had definitely had the chance. I mean, he was on. This should be a 1-0 game. This should definitely be a 1-0 game for Leeds. But while they're saying keeping Harry Wilson informed, also Calvin Lewin, which if anyone picked either of them for their fantasy team, I'm sorry. This was not the match for that. This was definitely not the match for that. Because like most people may have already figured out, this match is ugly. It is ugly and it is to be expected. If anyone watched the first game, just know it was pretty much the same thing. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Don't let the stats fool you on time of possession. Because it's not time of possession because a team has been more aggressive. It's time of possession because they have been forced to defend. And there is nothing. There was nothing spectacular about this. Nothing to write home about. And if anyone was to ask, what do you take away from the first half? It's simply ugly. I mean, that's just it. This game is ugly. We knew it was going to be ugly. And for people who are not watching this game, I do not blame you. Not necessarily that all the other games are exciting, but Liverpool does finally put one up on Burnley with Wirtz getting it in. And I subbed him out. I subbed him out. Not saying I want any other people, I want any of my other midfielders or forwards injured, but yeah. I subbed him out on my fantasy. But as messed up as I'm about to say, let's look at stats. And yes, I know there have been more shots on goal, but has there been really? Has there really been more shots on goal? No, actually not. I was checking the stats and yeah, literally just one shot on goal for each team. Timer should be going off to let people know when we're coming back. Also, this is my last game of the month because I will not be available for the Fulham Brighton game. So, just so you can see the February fixtures, I will be back on the first for of course the Man United game, the Everton game, Man City on the 11th, and now that we know our FA Cup opponent, we will have Stoke and Fulham on Valentine's Day, unless my wife comes and kidnaps me. And then finally, Sunderland and Fulham. So unlike last month, with this month with a few games at the cottage, there's only going to be one game with the Everton game on the 7th. Everyone else is going to be away. So I'm gonna let that come. I'm gonna let that go down. You're gonna see some stat lines up at the top, but yeah, that's about it. For the Leeds and Fulham, 0-0. The only game in this window is at 0-0. Chelsea Brentford 1-0. Liverpool Burnley 1-0. Sunderland and Crystal Palace knotted up at 1, and West Ham still holding on to their lead 1-0 over Tottenham, about to go into the half. The rest of the games are all at half, and of course the early game, Manchester United over City 2-0. One more game after this with Nottingham Forest and Arsenal in the 12:30 window. Once again, thanks for everyone who has been joining this one. I'm Jonas Braska. We are at halftime in a 0-0 game. But when we come back, we will highlight this game as well as, I won't say dual coverage, but we will keep tabs on the AFCON matchup between, and I froze for a second, Egypt and Nigeria, as that one is set to kick off in less than 6 minutes. For Egypt, Egypt will have the added benefit of using this as a final tune-up before the World Cup, while Nigeria has to go once again, what if, in regards to penalties. After a marvelous, after a great performance, it's just frustrating that that's what does them in again. But I will say this: Chukwueze is getting the start. He'll be playing in that midfield. Checking out the bench, Awobi is on the bench, and of course, Bassi is not able to play due to yellow card accumulation. And of course, Salah is on the Egyptian starting 11. And it'll be interesting to see if these two, in a couple weeks on the first, how Manchester United and Fulham, face off and actually get to see, if either players from both Egypt or Nigeria are able to take whatever momentum and anything they've learned will improve. So, breather, get a drink, something to eat. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. We are back, even though you may not see me on the screen. The second half is about to begin. I just was trying to get a little something to eat, but one of the biggest complaints is me masticating on screen. So I will not be masticating on screen. So once the whistle I will stop masticating and I will start the timer. And we are back. No changes at halftime for either team. And my phone has dropped to the ground. Those who have been watching the stream know that even if I don't want to be, things will drop, things will get frustrating. And Roden is very upset that he gave up a free kick. Which of course he is late. He is late. Roden does not get the ball. No, he's not. He is not celebrating. As far as Egypt and Nigeria, they have kicked off. And that one is, they've now hit the third minute in that one. Still no score, as they have just kicked off. With Spurs and West Ham at halftime, everyone else has kicked off their second half. For those who where the ticker is not caught up, Chelsea Brentford still 1-0. Liverpool Burnley still 1-0. Sunderland Crystal Palace still knotted up at 1, and West Ham still keeping their lead over Spurs, even though that game is at halftime. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Jonas Brasco. I stream, live, react, and watch alongs for Fulham because, well, if there are other people who are doing it, I do not know who they are. In any case, if you do like what you're hearing, like what you're seeing, feel free to like and subscribe. This stream is not sponsored or anything along that nature, so of course I will not use any type of sponsored names for tournaments or stadiums. Which, of course, Elland Road is Elland Road. And like the Nigeria Morocco game, don't be unless something magical happens. Don't be surprised if this ends up a 0-0 draw. Sessegnon's not able to get by, and it's going to be a goal kick for Leeds. The Ryan Sessegnon, he's one of us chants are going at this time. No, there was not going to be a sniff. That's exactly what happened in the first game. Again, this game is going to be ugly. There's literally it's going to have to be a mistake or a thing of magic. Hmm. There had to be. There may have to be a red card. Like seriously. But in the meantime, how is everyone doing out there? I'm not trying. I assure you, I am doing my best not to try to be depressing because that's not the goal. And the cross. And Fulham will go with the corner, which is definitely needed. Corner. And it's cleared away by Leeds, but only as far back as Anthony Robinson. Robinson tries to make something happen to Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson easily gets pushed down, and I think someone's going to be getting a ticket. Oh no, it's just gonna be a free kick. Because okay, I can see why. I can see why. Because Justin does actually try to get to the ball. Harry Wilson, Sasha Lukic. Over this. Wilson with the shot, and it just sails. And again, no one's warming up on either side. You don't see anyone on the bench. I imagine if there's going to be any substitutions, don't expect anything until about the 60th minute. At the earliest. Leeds with the ball. Trying to find to Anderson. Anderson interrupted by Fulham. Smith Rowe gets it taken. Bogle tries to get it headed off of Sanderberg, but still maintaining possession. Back to Darlow. Leeds trying to slow it down a little bit. 53rd minute. Try to do the long ball to Lewin. But Gudmundsson tried to get something, but nothing. Dealt with by Anthony Robinson. It's Anderson, Robinson, and again some very scrappy play in order to maintain. Oh, and what's frustrating is in order to maintain possession, Fulham has had to go forward with the ball and then come right back with the ball. Two balls on the pitch right now. Leeds is able to just get it away. Darlow, it goes back to Darlow, and once again, no game. I mean, not all matches can be magical. And now, of course, they're just commentators again trying to figure some things out. Figure some things out. Calvin Lewin tried to find something. Fulham is able to get the ball out, and there's some whistles going. Oh, okay. Well, they called offsides again. And you can just see that Leeds United crowd all with the. It must be pretty cold out there. And there's a foul by Leeds. Smith Rowe maintaining possession. Harry Wilson trying to get the ball, and Rodon knocks it out. And it's going to be a throw in for Fulham on the lead side. A little bit of come on Fulham chant just to try to get something. Clear. Harry Wilson couldn't get to it fast enough. Gudmundsson, blatant foul. Is that going to be a yellow or is that going to be a red? It's going to be a yellow. Yeah, definitely risk, definitely unneeded. Mm. Nope, VAR is like, nope, we're good. Yellow card. Really bad delivery. Leno kept it up. Robinson was trying to find Smith Rowe, but Justin easily gets to that. Jimenez gets Calvin Lewin. No, not Calvin Lewin. Okafor into the box. Has to turn it back out. Gudmundsson with the cross. And it just sails behind the left hand side. And just that little bit, it gets the crowd interested in this match. Maybe. And finally, it looks like Tanaka's warming up for Leeds. But still, not much happening. Leeds again on the break. Erickson! Lewin! No, Calvin Lewin had a great chance. I'm sorry, Leeds fans. That was it for you. That was it for you. It was a great run. Lewin just a little bit left, and that should have been 1-0. Just a little bit further left. He sails it right of the pitch, straight ahead. But just that little bit has the crowd going. Leeds. Again, this has been their match. A dominant effort, able to find able to get past the Fulham defense, able to get shots on goal, able to have crosses, but still, Anderson strong in the back. And just like that, we're at one. It was going to be a throw in. Yeah, Ampadu taking his time. Long, nice long throw. There was a throw, but still now Sessegnon having to play defense right into the middle. It looked like it was going to fall for Gruev, but nothing there. We're now in the 60th. We're now in the 61st minute. No substitutions from either manager at this time. I guess the other question is, what do you want to do? Do you want to give up? Do you want to play more defensively? Or do you want to be more aggressive and risk, a breakaway or something giving up? Because Fulham has had to play defensively this entire match. And Harrison trying to take on Robinson. This has been an interesting matchup because Anthony Robinson, of course, has to play defense. Even though Leeds get the cross in, there's still nothing there. And it just sails out of bounds. And it'll be another Leeds throw in. And I'm just checking something real quick because this is. It may seem like I'm trying to talk negatively about this matchup, but that's not my goal. It's just it's a match that is wait. Anderson just is able to get that away. Smith Rowe tries to get on it, but Leeds maintains possession. Leeds and Gudmundsson on it. And what happened there? He is frustrated because that wasn't even really a shot. That was a cross to the crowd. Again, Leeds, it's just that finishing. That last bit of finishing. Gunnarsson, yes, slamming the ground like it owed him money. But it was not the crowd's. It was not the ground's fault. But still, Leeds possession in the box. Anthony Robinson put under pressure. That's just Fulham not being really able to get anything into the Leeds half. And they're saying that Kevin and Tom Kearney are about to come on. Again, I was saying no earlier than the 60th, but 65th minute, not a surprise here. So it's going to be Kearney with the possession of the ball and Kevin with a little bit of speed. After all, Kevin did score his first goal for Fulham in that match in the cup tie against Middlesbrough. Trying to break for Harry Wilson, nothing happening there. And we will see if these changes happen immediately or if there's going to be a few more minutes before they happen. So Ryan Sessegnon is going to come off. Kevin is going to come in. Exciting signing, but it definitely was not exciting when it first happened. And Tom Carney, just something that doesn't get talked about, but he when he was 16, he was at Leeds. Leeds released him, and it's not something that's really talked about because it was for a short period of time. But that is a little bit of history between them. And of course, Tom Carney will take the armband and has actually scored 4 goals against Leeds, with 3 of them against at Elland Road. And I'm not eating on stream, but I am having some hot chocolate. And it looks like they're saying Harrison Reed may be warming up. In the meantime, in the 23rd minute, it is Egypt and Nigeria with still no score there. Mm. And Fulham was trying to make a break, but there was definitely Fulham again. Raul gives up, leads with the run, going far side, dealt with by Kawenka. We haven't really talked about Kawenka. Castagna a little bit. Sandberg holding the ball. Inside shot. Straight at the keeper. James Justin. Nice shot. It just was at the keeper. Probably should have went near side. I think he would have beaten near side. There's a break. And Darlow had to head it. Smith Rowe tried to sail it, but it's too far left. Too far left. And right now, there's a pause in the action. And the 64 Colin Wood. A lead supporter who passed away at 67. No jokes, please. And so there was applause during the 67th minute. And I assure you, no one in the Leeds crowd was doing that. But Tottenham has tied that one up. Wilson trying to find Tom Carney. Gets it out to Robinson. Wilson to Jimenez has to sail it. No, he didn't have to sail it. He just sailed it. Also, Burnley has tied it up against Liverpool. Okafor is going to come off. And Wilfred Nanto is going to come in for Okafor. Ooh. No, there was no handball. I'm just ugly, but no handball. Wilson. Wilson trying to get someone else to come back. And it does not happen. Gudmundsson with the takeaway. Try to get Calvin Lewin, but there is no break. And Fulham is able to slow it down. Lewin has been forced back, pressure by Hakeem Anderson. Very late, unneeded tackle. Not anything malicious, just was trying to get the ball. As Kawenka just stands up. And that will definitely be something where you wonder, Kawenka, if he's going to, when Bassi returns, if he'll be there. Or if Castagna. Castagna will probably still be there. Smith Rowe or they're calling foul on Kevin. It's going to be a throw in. No, not foul. It just went out. It just went out. Sorry. I'm really sorry. I did not have breakfast this morning. So it's able to keep possession. Gunnarsson having to play it back a little bit, and it is headed out by Sasha Lukic. Gudmundsson is going to throw this in. Do not expect any type of special throws on this one. Sunderland is now up on Crystal Palace. Once again, West Ham, Tottenham, they are both at nil. Sorry, not nil. Get my head back into it. This is the only game that's at 0-0. Chelsea still up on Brentford 1-0. And in the 29th, 30th minute, there is still no score between Egypt and Nigeria. Nice long throw from Leeds. Header towards the box. And Kawenka being forces the corner. Considering how this game has been, it's still only 3 corners for each team. Head towards the back post. Leno grabs it. Now trying to find someone to throw the ball to, but it's okay that he's taking his time. Last thing we need is unforced errors. Anderson, Sanderberg. Sanderberg was trying to find Tom Kearney, but forces to send it back to Kawenka. Robinson leads, very good with that pressure, forces it to go back to Leno. Calvin Lewin trying to chase it down. Leno has to swing it out of bounds. Smith Rowe trying to find Kevin, but it is sent back by James Justin. Lewin with the header. Forces Fulham to send it back to Leno again. And they're mentioning Fulham has not played a scoreless draw since Christmas Eve 2024. Leads a little bit. Okay, you know what? We're not going to talk about scoreless draw yet. Smith throws down. And if it is the end of Smith Rowe's game, hopefully that means yes, it will be Josh King. Very welcome return, not from him, but every Fulham fan. As Josh King is one of the very few people who has good pace and will get into the box. He's looking for his first Premier League goal after that questionable VAR decision against him in the match against that first match against Chelsea. And as you see, Josh King has replaced Emil Smith Rowe. With 3 substitutions already for Fulham, it has not translated into any more shots on goal. Well, I mean, Smith Rowe had probably the best opportunity for Fulham so far when Darlow had to come out of the net, but that would have been difficult for anyone to perform. We've had 40 views, which is a lot more than I was expecting for this one, so I do appreciate everyone stopping in and out. And a foul by Kalinka. No, this I the commentators like the quality not quite there for there. This was not. I had said this previously, and people keep not listening. I know the commentators can't, but I'm like, this was going to be an ugly game. Nato did try to get something in, slides. Harry Wilson is with the ball. Gets it up to Raul. Josh King, first little bit of the ball. He's stripped down a little bit, and it is going to be a throw in. Sandberg. Back to Anderson and Fulham. Just the good thing I'm glad of is Fulham is not necessarily playing for the draw. Tom Carney. Just very, very frustrating. But I will say this: Adams has scored and opened up the game for Nigeria. So in that game, at least it's 1-0. Lewin finally gets a shot, but it's straight at Leno. Leno was pissed, trying to free up Kevin in the middle. Kevin cannot get onto it, but Harry Wilson does. Harry Wilson tried to shoot, but easily given out of the way. And Calvin Lewin again on the break. Anderson is on him. And Anderson kicks it out for a corner. And Onachu. I think they're giving it Onachu for that one for Nigeria. This may be 2-0 already. No, oh, okay, I see. They're gonna give that. They are gonna say Onachu had that one. Tanaka is coming in. And Mecha is coming in for Bogle. Neither team wants just 4 points and 1 point. So Fulham still having to just deal with dealing with that Leeds pressure. Josh King tried to turn around. It looks like he got his foot stepped on a little bit, but Jimenez tried to get it to Kevin, but Kevin just couldn't run towards the ball. Lewin being covered by Sanderberger. Tanaka was running it up with Gunderson. It's going to be Justin. Kevin tracks, and it's going to be another corner for Leeds. A good defensive effort by Kevin, but yeah. Mentioning the attendance. VAR has said no goal for Nigeria. So that game is back to 0-0. Chelsea has doubled up on Brentford 2-0. Sunderland is now 2-1 over Crystal Palace. Liverpool Burnley still 1-1. Tottenham West Ham still 1-1. Strujic had the header, but it just sailed over the bar. Well, not just sailed over the bar. It sailed over the bar. Sanderberg with the ball finds Josh King. Out to the right side, Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson too early. Tanaka gets to that. And Leeds, great discipline, maintaining possession. Fulham's trying to track it down, but still nothing. And they are going to give up. Leeds is going to give up the throw in, but it's not anything that seems threatening. Leeds have definitely been the more threatening side, but according to the score sheet, it does not matter. We are now in the 85th minute. Still no score. Fulham maintaining a bit of possession, but not going any further. Still kind of stuck in their side of the pitch. Sanderberg gets it to Josh King. Josh King has to send it back to Castagna. I've been a little bit harsh on Sanderberg with holding the ball, but he seems to be okay. I'm not going to put him as a holding defender, but he's not giving up the ball a lot. He's slow, but it's not been the worst thing in the world. Like if you just need a holding defender for a couple of passes or two, he's fine. Just when he gets into that final third, he's not supposed to be for the break. Tom Carney was looking at Castagna, but he's just going to keep the ball for a moment because he's being marked very well by Calvin Lewin. Robinson, Sandberg. When you know it's not going to work, send it back. Find an opening. Tom Carney slides it into Anthony Robinson. Robinson sees. Nah, I don't know if he was trying to sail that over the keeper and find Harry Wilson on that right hand side, but all that build up for just a really missed opportunity. And right now, I'm just checking the channel and make sure people can hear me because it's been pretty quiet. All that build up for just. Josh King is able to keep it in. He's being marked very well by Tanaka, and Tanaka's able to force it out and get the ball back for Leeds. Oh, and a trip by Sandberg, and Sandberg is going to go into the book. I don't think that was Kawenka. I think that was Sandberg. No, that's Kawenka. I stand corrected. That was Jorge Kawenka. And if you're Fulham, it's like we can make a substitution, but who's going to come in? And you know the answer now. It's going to be Issa Diop and Kusei Asari. And I know Kusei Asari is, I know Jimenez is frustrated, but at the same time, because Asari is going to come in. And Issa Diop, just to have a little bit more of a defensive presence, is going to come in for Harry Wilson. Mm. And now this would be the moment where you would want to, if you're gonna put someone in for penalties, this is where you should have put him in. 89th minute at the latest 89th minute. This is when you should have put him in. Given Chukwueze a little bit of time. Deflection. Is it gonna be a great attempt from Leeds? Thoughts on the match? All I can say is exactly what you're seeing. It's ugly. I said it'd be ugly at the very beginning because the first match between these two was very ugly. And they're going to put 4 minutes of stoppage time on this. I don't know how, but they're going to do that. I wouldn't put 4 minutes on this. I will put, just because it's subs, I would have put 3 at the most. But they're putting 4 minutes of stoppage on this, which I can't even, I don't even think that's fair. No, because Egypt, Nigeria had no substitutions, but there was that VAR, and that has 4 minutes. Wow! Wow! And just like that, in stoppage time, in Fulhamish time, Leeds gets it. I hate saying that. Nope. Again, stoppage time, but that goal was not boring. There was nothing boring about that. Lucas Nemecha, a nice sliding shot. And I'm just checking VAR. I was like, there's no offside. Nemecha just a sliding off foot kick. There is no Harrison Reed that's going to save this one. He's running back. He's kicking with his off foot. Castagna is beat. Leno, no chance. As much as I hate to, it's just a great goal. It's a great goal, and just like that, it's 1-0 Leeds. It's 1-0 Leeds, and it is nothing. I'm even saying that it is nothing less than what Leeds deserves. And literally until that, not much else you can say. But easily that was that was well deserved. That's a great shot on goal, and as a Leeds supporter, you deserved it. You absolutely deserved that goal. And of course, they're saying there's break that unbeaten run for Fulham, and I can't. And yeah, I don't know, but man, Lewin shot. Leno gets that one. No, it wasn't. Lucas Mincha. It's a great shot. It's a great save. I mean, Leeds making their final substitutions. But I can't deny that was a great that was a great shot. I hate admitting that, but that was a great shot by Dementia. That was a great freaking shot. I don't even want to admit it, but it was. And if Fulham does, I mean, and Leeds running down time with the corner, Fulham didn't really threaten that game. I mean, this is deserved. If Leeds goes away with this, it is well deserved. And this is why we have tried to say to Marcus Silva, no matter what this run of play has been for Fulham, we needed help in the transfer window. We have not gotten the help in the transfer window, and this shows. Hopefully, it shows that hey, we need some help in the transfer window. Carney trying to get it down, and just like that, there's a foul. It's gonna be a yellow. And Kusi Sari gets the yellow on that one. Yeah, lose. I mean, once again, I can't even be mad at Leeds. It was a great sliding shot for Fulham. It was very clear that that they just didn't. Leeds was too great on their pressure. They couldn't really get the ball into Leeds half. Maybe one last opportunity. Josh King. Gunnarsson tries to take him down. Tom Carney bringing up Kearney into the box. Whistle has gone off, and that is it. And that's it. And you know what? It's well deserved for Leeds. They were the better team. That shot was amazing. And once again, it's an extra time winner for the home side. And the Leeds crowd is just there's yeah, well deserved. For Leeds, well deserved. I mean, and yeah, you're just gonna keep hearing the commentators like Leeds were the better side. And there's no argument there. Leeds were definitely the better side. Full time. Mm. And I wish I could say Fulham did better, but they didn't. This game went exactly what you would expect for a team that has, and I kid you not, because I'm looking at these stats and I'm gonna pop them up, but I almost don't want to because this was because I'll just go ahead and say it. This was a miserable game by Fulham. Maybe it is just. I mean, sometimes you need reality checks, and I think Fulham honestly got one in this match. They were easily outplayed, easily not aggressive enough. And for Fulham, the man of the match is easily Bert Leno. Because I'm not, I mean, because that's the thing. I can't blame him from that last one. I can't blame him for that last one. That one I gotta put on Castagna. But yeah, I'm still gonna put these on here just so people can see, even though there's only two people in here, just so you can see why Fulham was not gonna win this game. One shot on goal, 11 fouls committed. Leeds had 7 corners. I mean, this is showing that they're getting in the they're getting them. They're forcing Fulham to play defensive. 8 offsides. I honestly think outside of like a cup tie, that may be the most offsides I've ever seen from a team. 5 yellow cards. And I am very surprised we did not get a red. Because Harry Wilson should have possibly gotten a red in that game. I mean, damage was done, but and Fulham now goes down now drops to 10th behind Newcastle. And next week's game against Brighton, that could be that could even drop Fulham even further, as Brighton is just behind by 2 points. And I think if we were able to get a 0-0 draw, that would have been a blessing. That may have been more than we deserved. But speaking of a game that's at 0-0, Egypt, Nigeria, with that disallowed goal, that is where that ends up. West Ham has now put 2. They were checking for VAR. It is cleared. Callum Wilson is gonna get it as stoppage time ends in that one. Callum Wilson is going to get the winner for West Ham as they beat Spurs 2-1. Well, actually, no, they're still saying there's a little bit of time in that one. Chelsea 2-0 over Brentford. Liverpool, Burnley, a draw. Sunderland 2-1 over Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest and Arsenal will be in about 30 minutes. And Egypt and Nigeria are at halftime. And as much as I hate to admit it, Leeds deserve that. They were the better team. They were the more aggressive team. Stoppage time and us are synonymous. Easily. This was for those who do not watch this stream at all. This game was absolutely Fulhamish all the way through. There's nothing more I can say. It's noon. Everyone has cleared out the chat, so I want to thank people for watching. Not available next week due to previous obligations, but we will be back on the 1st of February for, of course, Man United. But nothing to write home about as Fulham falls to lead 1-0 with Lukas Mecha scoring in the first minute of stoppage time to give Leeds a much needed victory. It moves them, and while it doesn't move them up the table, it does move them further away from the drop zone. Final score: Leeds 1, Fulham 0. We'll see you folks in 2 weeks. And while it may not have happened today,